Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Can we get serious now?
One thing that did happen during the 60s was some music of an unusual or experimental nature did get recorded and did get released. Now look at who the executives were in those companies at those times. Not hip young guys. These were cigar-chomping old guys who looked at the product that came and said, I don't know. Who knows what it is? Record it, stick it out. If it sells, all right. We were better off with those guys than we are now with the supposedly hip young executives who are making the decisions of what people should see and hear in the marketplace.
Success in the music business begins with a dream, a vision. This podcast will give you, the listener, the insight and tools to turn that vision into a reality. Meet the industry professionals who work day by day behind the scenes, helping to make those dreams come true. Welcome to the business side of music.
Today with us, Ryan Kintz, who is the founder and CEO of Afton Tickets, My Afton, and Afton LiveStream. He's an event organizer, event producer, concert promoter, and of course, business owner. Afton Shows has produced over 12,000 events and national tours in 60 U.S. markets and 8 Canadian cities with over 1.5 million tickets sold. He's worked with hundreds of event organizers, over 800 music venues, and tens of thousands of music artists. Afton Tickets clientele include fairs, festivals, beer, wine, and food fest, one of my personal favorites, and concerts that range from the 10,000 to the 100,000 seat capacity. As senior software project manager, Ryan leads a team of 12 plus software developers and a team of UI UX designers. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Bob, for having me.
When did you originally come up with the idea to start this company? Or maybe I should say, when did you come up with the idea to start these companies? And what was that model that made you want to do this?
That's a great question. So in 2004, I'm a musician. I sing and play guitar, and I was in a rock band. And we just started finding that it was hard to book shows if you're an indie artist and you weren't signed and didn't have a booking agent. And so we started renting out venues in Portland and having bands of ours who are friends play on our shows. And the more we did that, the more requests we got until we were doing 6 to 10 shows per month. You know, music is in our DNA and my DNA. And I think as an artist myself, I was able to really relate to kind of some of the hurdles local artists have and seeing there's maybe a way to do it better and to kind of support each other. And it really just grew from there. Afton Shows was 2004 is when we were founded. Once we started building a lot of software for musicians, the MyAfton booking platform, et cetera, Afton Tickets was born because we had that software experience. And again, coming from live events and concerts, we had firsthand experience to help event organizers who needed ticketing. And kind of fast forward to March of 2020, kind of like Bob, you had mentioned earlier, ourselves included, we all kind of saw COVID as this, in 4 weeks, we'll be back doing live shows. And then that extended to 2 months. And now we're 6 months later and there's no end in sight to the live events ban. Luckily for us, kind of having our artist base that we work with and event organizers, we pivoted pretty quickly on LiveStream and went full force. And that's how Afton LiveStream came out, is our event organizers can't do events, our touring bands and independent artists can't do shows. And so we tried to take what we know and what we do and translate that into the virtual space and keep it artist-focused, artist-centered, really to try to get money into their pockets and still allow them to do what they love, which is perform live.
And I think one of the bullet points that we discussed before the show started was that the shows are not coming back soon. Now, we are starting to see some things where drive-in movie theater concerts, smaller venues, outdoor types events, but as a whole, especially when it comes into an indoor facility, whether it's a club, a theater, an arena, those are nowhere in the near future in the horizon. So we're talking about live stream concerts. That kind of seems to be the norm, or maybe it's the go-to that everybody's looking at these days. Can you make money off of a live stream concert, though, especially as an independent artist? And does it make more sense for it to be a free show and hope that you can attract new fans or listeners, or does the paid ticket make sense?
That's a great question. And that's something we asked ourselves back in March when we started building this thing. And as users have been using it, both touring bands and independent artists, we've really found those answers. The big thing I think you need to ask yourself as an artist is, what's the goal of my virtual concert? So you kind of have two different goals. If your goal is to attract new fans, then the free streams are useful. People can pop in and out. You can hopefully get someone dropping in who's not a fan. It doesn't cost any money. The downsides to the free streams that we've been seeing is especially the engagement and the duration people stay in the stream. So a good example, I like Dave Matthews, and he does some free streams on Facebook. And even as a fan, I find myself being taken by surprise it's happening, because I didn't buy a ticket and put it on my calendar and make sure I'm home with a beer in hand on my couch ready for the show. And so I'll end up tuning into that live stream that's free on Facebook, and I'll maybe watch 2 songs and then I have to leave. And so the tips and the donations really fall drastically on those free streams. So if what you're doing to stream is really you need money to support your album or your rent, then that's really lost on the free streams. What I've been recommending to our artists is using those free Facebook live streams as teasers. So you're promoting your upcoming paid live stream, and you're still able to have new fans drop in and see your music, maybe play 1 or 2 songs, but you're kind of using the free stream more as a marketing for your upcoming legitimate real concert. But I've had artists tell me, hey, I'm a small independent artist. How am I going to get people to pay $5 to see my live stream? And what we're really seeing is, both on the touring level of artists and on the indie artist side, I've felt like they're underestimating how much their fans like them and how much they want to support them. And one of the big things that's been apparent there is the amount of tips that come in on our live streams. Fans are tipping for our touring acts $50, $100, $500. And so that overwhelming response, I think, is giving artists the confidence. Even on the local level, artists are selling $20 or $35 to $10 tickets for their live stream, and shocked that they could do that. And then they're seeing $100, $200, $300 in tips come in. And so I think that's the first step, is not just needing to have content that's unique and engaging for your live stream, but just understanding your fans and friends and people that like your music are happy to send you $5 or $10 when that's what they spend at Starbucks for a coffee.
Let's back up for a moment. The difference between the free virtual concert, which I think you can really encapsulate it with it, calling it Facebook Live, versus the paid live stream ticket event. How are those different? Now, I know you mentioned, okay, you go on Facebook Live, you need to do a couple songs. What do you have to do to create that paid ticket event? First of all, to get those people to go there, and then to keep them engaged through the event, or at least a good portion of it.
Yeah, so especially on the paid stream part, really picking the right platform is important. So when it comes to the difference between Facebook Live and our Afton LiveStream platform, for example, Facebook Live is just you post your Venmo or PayPal address, and you're hoping people watching open a new browser tab, leave the stream, go to the Venmo, and send you money. With our live stream, we try to make tipping as easy as possible. So we save the credit card when they purchase the ticket. So when they're in the stream, without leaving the stream, and while they can still watch the performance, they can, with 2 clicks, go ahead and tip the artist. So I think what really kind of happens on the platforms like ours is, Facebook Live has streaming, but it's not really made to monetize and engage fans in a virtual concert. A platform like ours is built for that. So that's one big difference, is kind of the tipping and monetization. The other part is, I found when someone pays even $5 for your stream, it seems more real to them. So we all remember being local artists, and you do a free show at the park, and in your mind it's free, so 10,000 people are going to show up. I found the free shows we did, we actually had less people show up than our paid ticket venue shows. And I think that comes into the perception of, when something's free, you don't have any skin in the game. If I pay $5 for a friend band virtual concert, money's out of my pocket. It's on my Gmail calendar. I'm now planning to attend. And I also see that kind of go in, by them buying a ticket, they're going to be more interested in staying for the whole duration of the show. We have a lot of people, we have a very low drop-off rate, essentially, if someone's paid to be there. That also makes artists feel better as well, because you could have a free stream with great content and see 50% of people drop out because it's free and they're not committed. That same content in a $5 or $10 live stream, 90% of those people will be there the entire hour. So I think that's kind of a psychological thing that me as a local artist, I was in the same boat of the lower the price, or if it's free, the better. And really, I found this kind of happy medium of, $5 to $10, if it's a reasonable price, really gives you that buy-in from the audience of you're worth paying for, you're worth spending my time with. And it kind of psychologically sets it up for more engagement in the show.
And that's a question I was going to ask you. Is there a sweet spot when it comes to that ticket price, especially for the unknown artist? You mentioned a Dave Matthews or a Sting or whoever it is that's is a name recognized act. And then you have the Joe Smith band. They're still trying to build their fan base. They're still trying to build their audience. Is there a comfortable ticket price that works for them, that makes sense?
Yes, there is. And that's a really good point. You want to think of, what is the disposable income of your fan base? Where do you live? Those all come into play. Typically, what I'm seeing and recommending our touring artists is set the ticket price for live stream 50 to 75% of what your real world tour would be. So, if a band tours and it's a $25 ticket in the venue, charging $12 to $16 is very reasonable. On the local side, we've had hundreds and hundreds of local artists do these live streams, really creative ideas from their studio, from their couch, outside on their deck. And they're charging anywhere from $5 to $12. We're seeing majority of the tickets for virtual live streams on indie artists in the $6 to $8 range. And I think they have the same approach of, when I play in a venue, it might be a $10 cover. So you spending $6 or $5.99 is a pretty easy ask. I also kind of encourage our artists to not go for the $1.99, $2.99. Again, you're kind of entering the realm of this isn't worth anything. It's almost free. And in my mind, when people are buying apps and a beer or coffee for $5 without a moment's thought, I think $5 is a good kind of price bottom for the typical local artist. One thing that I've had a couple conversations with, artists have been telling me, I only sold 30 tickets at $8 a piece for my virtual concert, and it was amazing. But I did get, 150 people tuning in for my free Facebook live stream. But then they tell me their tips were 5 times higher from the smaller audience who paid to see the show. And really that comes back to engagement. I mean, I've watched live streams myself where over the hour I tip 4 or 5 times. Once you hear that song or they call out a tipper, say, hey, Bob, I appreciate the $10. That is so awesome. This next song's dedicated to you. It really builds on that. And so I think that's kind of one of those counterintuitive things I've learned with live stream is the sweet spot is there, but kind of value yourself and your music and what you're providing to fans enough to say, $5, $8, this is worth doing.
We're going to take a break, get a word in for one of our sponsors that helps keep us on the air. When we come back, we're going to chat some more with Ryan Kintz, who is the founder and CEO of Afton.
Hey, this is April Ryder, and you are listening to The Business Side of Music with the fantastic Bob Bender.
You're listening to The Business Side of Music.
Hi, everyone. I'm Larry Butler, and I want to send you a free digital copy of my new book, The Singer-Songwriter Rulebook, 101 Ways to Help You Improve Your Chances of Success. That's right. Everything you need to know to launch your career as a singer-songwriter, all based on my 40 years in the live performance arena, and believe me, I've seen it all. In my book, you'll find the 10 things you have to deal with before even thinking about becoming a singer-songwriter performer. You'll also learn about the 5 things every singer-songwriter can do this weekend to make their live show better. 5 things I can guarantee that you are not doing already. Plus, there's tips on songwriting and staging, photo and video shoots, publishing, merch, dozens of other topics. All written for people who don't particularly like to read. And again, it's free. Just go to the Business Side of Music website homepage and look for my book cover. Click on it, and a free digital copy of my book will be yours. I'm Larry Butler, and I approve of this message.
You're listening to The Business Side of Music.
Back in the studio, Ryan Kintz, who is the founder and CEO of Afton Tickets, MyAfton, and Afton LiveStream. He's in Portland, Oregon today, and of course, we're here in Nashville, Tennessee. We talk about the live stream concerts, free versus the paid ticket. One of the things, though, that is there an effective way to market that event? And let me back up by saying I've watched a couple Facebook Live events. you're right, after about 2 songs, I'm gone. And at the same time, I've been noticing, like for the last couple days, Herb Alpert's coming out with this documentary on October 1st. And every time I'm on Facebook, something pops up. And of course, now I've clicked on it. It's in my calendar to watch it. Is there an effective way to market your upcoming event? And would you market the Facebook Live and the paid? How does that all work?
That's a great question. So when we first started doing these live streams, a resounding part of feedback we were getting from touring bands especially was the beauty of live stream is you eliminate a lot of those hard costs on the artist side that you have for a typical show. So whether it's $50 in the van to get your gear and gas money to get to the venue, or it's parking, or it's anything else related with the band on tour bus or whatever, the venue rental expenses, any itemized expenses from the promoter, so much of this, paying your crew, paying your roadies, is eliminated. And so the beauty of live stream is when you take all of those hard costs away, your only true cost of the show is going to be your marketing dollars. And so what virtual live streams allow you to do is spend more money on paid ads. And again, kind of coming back to what I've learned with the free live streams on Facebook Live, it's really hard to invest as an indie artist $150 in paid advertising, Facebook ads, to get them into a free stream. And you're hoping they're there long enough to tip you. So Bob, great example. You and me go in for 2 songs. We're not even there long enough to have tipping on our mind. So the beauty of having the paid ticket is you're able to actually invest $150 confidently. Or if you're a touring artist, you're able to invest $5,000 in Facebook ads. So the paid ticket gives you a reason to actually put those ad dollars in. I just had a touring band stream with us who did amazing. They had about $2,800 in tips. They had a top tipper prize going on with our platforms that people were battling out to get a variant vinyl and some select merch. And they were just blown away with the fan generosity. But it really came back to once the fans were in the stream and having that engagement, we want to give our artists money. If you even think about if you're in a real world show, like if we hadn't thought about it before, but you want to give them money, but you have no way to do that. When it comes to the marketing aspect, really, you have the most impact with those ad dollars. Like you said, Bob, I'm on my phone on Facebook. I can see this artist ad 5-6 times this week. And a lot of times there's studies that show you need to see an ad 7 times before you take action. Now, kind of relate that to a real world show. Would you rather as an artist spend 20 hours putting up flyers all over town and hoping that works? Or for a virtual stream, would you rather put $100 in to Facebook's algorithms and to likes of your page to where the right people are seeing your ad? So that's the other aspect of virtual live streams that's really taken off, is just your ability now to time cost-effective way, really put your ad dollars into the people that are most likely to purchase. And with the tracking pixel with Facebook that we teach our artists to use, they can see the return on investment. It's really powerful when a touring band can see they did $250 in ad budget and they have $2,000 in ticket sales. Those kind of things you don't always have in the real world space, and kind of there's a lot of advantages to doing the live streams when you factor all those things in.
Do you help the artists create the things like you talked about, the high tipper competition that goes on? Do you have those little widgets that you can help provide them to implement that into their campaign?
Yeah, exactly. So basically the artist defines what the top tipper prizes are in the stream. It could be as simple as a shout out in the stream. Some of them kind of go over some big things: signed vinyl, signed t-shirt. They can get creative. They could give a voicemail greeting to the top tipper. So they define those. And then when it's in stream, the fans all see the top tipper prizes. And in real time, as people tip, people take those placements. So that's some of the tools we provide to help monetize and kind of gamify the tipping and make it fun. It was surprising the last stream we did. It was actually entertaining to everyone in live chat to see the top tippers battle out. It was kind of an entertaining thing to see, Recourse just got second place. So-and-so just tipped $150 to overtake him. And those kind of gamifying the tips kind of take out the whole like, hey, I'm asking you for money, and kind of humanize it to this is a fun thing. We're a community. There's prizes. There's shout outs on the screen to give Bob a good feeling that everyone in the stream sees he's donating to the artist. So there's some tools we provide in the stream. When it comes to the marketing to get before the stream actually happens. On the indie side, we have a booking rep that the artist has that really checks in weekly. We have a lot of articles on how to run Facebook ads, Facebook lookalike, kind of how to promote the event. So we just try to really teach our artists what we've learned. I mean, that was a big thing for me as a local artist in 2004. I didn't have this knowledge I have now. And so being able for us to see over hundreds or thousands of artists, that one or two things that someone's doing that's creative and working, being able to kind of compile that into a how-to definitive guide kind of gives our artists a little more hope. Like, you read some solutions and how do I solve my problems? I have no idea. Well, here's some solutions I can do right now. And then what's cool is we're all creatives. Like, artists are creative people. So it's really fun to see our definitive guide for live stream ticket marketing. An artist reads it and now they have 5 new ideas that spin off of it. And so I think that's really important on the touring level and on the indie level, is just using that creativity to think, how can I make my live streams more fun? How can I do things no one's thought about? And how do I use my creativity to market it well? And there's just so many options. It's fun to see what people come up with.
And that's something else too, because just about everybody that I watch on Facebook Live with their living room concerts or their backyard concerts, there's nothing original there. There's nothing creative. So it's really important that not only with marketing themselves, but they also create an event that does retain that tipping effort. It almost sounds like it's almost like a silent auction that's going on, where here's the gadget that we're going to give away, and you want the viewers to outbid or outdo the other ones.
Exactly. And it makes it fun too, right? Like, we as fans want to do that. You don't see that in an in-venue show.
So, and you really are bringing it into an intimate atmosphere. When the artist comes to Afton, and because you have so many different things, you have the Afton LiveStream, Afton Tickets, MyAfton, Afton Shows. Does one work better, more for the independent artists than the others? What is the first thing that they would come and approach you for with what we've just talked about?
Yeah, so basically we kind of have three categories. So event organizers who aren't necessarily musicians, they're just putting on an event that needs tickets sold. That's the Afton Tickets solution, just a straight ticket platform with high customer service and a lot of great features. When it comes on the musician side, there's really kind of two ways to go. For independent artists that have under 30,000 monthly Spotify listeners, those are usually best suited for our MyAfton platform. And when those artists sign up, it's a free account, free membership. They get an account where they can turn on real world gig bookings. So once shows come back, and back before COVID happened, they'd be able to get gig offers, turn that on and off when they wanted, and set those preferences. In that same account, they're able to now turn on the live stream, which is also free to use, no upfront costs. And that's really made for those types of artists that, they're not signed to a big record label. They don't have booking agents. They might not be going on big national tours. And the MyAfton platform really focuses on this type of artist, the indie artist, the up and coming artist. When they go to create a live stream, it's as simple as they go in and schedule and create it. We walk them through everything. They're really in control of the show, which is cool. Usually you play in a venue, and the promoter and venue are setting ticket price and what time you play. Our indie artists for the live stream literally pick the date, time, what ticket price they want to charge, and it's their show. They're putting in the ticket description, what the show is going to be about. And so that's kind of a big part of MyAfton, is empowering the indie artist to really look for solutions and take their career in their own hand. I mean, I remember being a local band and just having this feeling of like, how do I find someone that propels my career for me? How do I find someone that will do all this work for me because I don't know what to do? And so the MyAfton portal is really good at giving those resources, marketing tips, our blog, and taking the booking, real world gigs, and live stream kind of into their hands. They get to choose the shows they play. They get to really own the live stream they create. And then a big benefit there too is they talk to our booking reps. So they're assigned to a booking rep and can ask questions, whether it's how do I get OBS to hook up to my Pro Tools for the stream, all the way to, hey, here's all the things I tried to promote and no one's buying tickets. What do I do? And we just kind of help them through a variety of hurdles and roadblocks they face, and kind of giving them that support. And really, that was the thing I didn't have back when I was in a band is, this was before social media and podcasts like yours, Bob. you just kind of felt alone. So kind of that's what the MyAfton platform is really for. For artists that have over 30,000 monthly Spotify listeners, that starts to be the level of national tour promoters and booking agents are working with those artists. Those artists go on tour. And so the Afton Tickets live stream is the live stream component of our Afton ticketing platform. And that's kind of the enterprise level for those larger artists. What's really cool is we're actually kind of handpicking artists from the MyAfton side and bringing them to that enterprise major artist live stream platform just to get them more exposure. And when we see someone who's doing a really good job, their music is good, we kind of want to give them that free upgrade. That's kind of the two differences of they're both musician focused. It just depends kind of what level that artist is at the moment.
We're going to take another break and another word in for another one of our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to have some more conversation with Ryan Kintz, who is the founder and CEO of Afton Tickets.
This is Royce Taylor, and I want you to listen to the Business Side of Music podcast with Bob Bender, and don't let me down.
You're listening to the Business Side of Music.
Hey, it's Chris SD from Sync Songwriter. Imagine what it would be like getting your music into the latest TV shows, movies, or ads. Your songs would not only get exposure in front of millions of viewers, you'd get paid to do it and gain a reputation as the songwriter that you are. I've been showing songwriters, composers, and artists how to get their music into TV and film for over 15 years. Collectively, they have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars from licensing their music. Their music has been on networks such as HBO, Bravo, ABC, NBC, Netflix, and more. In films or trailers such as Predator, Annihilation, Christmas Chronicles, Professor Mac, and many others. So many songwriters upload their music to websites hoping to get discovered. Unfortunately, this almost never happens with the millions of songs out there competing for attention. I show you how to get your music heard by the people who can actually make it happen for you. When you start getting your music licensed, you automatically develop a reputation in the industry. This lets you get syncs over and over again. If you'd like to discover how to connect with the right people in music licensing, just click the Sync Songwriter logo on the Business Side of Music webpage, and I'll see you there.
You're listening to the Business Side of Music.
Back in the studio here in Nashville, Tennessee, Ryan Kintz is with us. He's actually in Portland, Oregon today. Founder and CEO of Afton Tickets, MyAfton, and Afton LiveStream. When we talk about live streaming, and we're going through this right now with our podcast series once a month, we're now doing a live stream project with Dead Horse Branding Company, and we're calling it Dead Horse Discussions. We'll have a guest on there. It's a round table. We're sitting in a studio format, but it's still Facebook. It's one camera. Do you see the future of this becoming a multiple camera opportunity? What can we do to take it from being so one-dimensional right now visually, because it's that static, off the iPad or the iPhone, to being able to create something that's a little more artistic and creative? Do you see something like that in the future?
Yeah, I do. And there are a couple great tools for artists that want to do more than the one camera stream. There is a software solution called Manycam, ManyCam.com. And Manycam allows you to basically, with software on your computer, it's a subscription service from them, use multiple smartphones. What we've noticed is newer smartphones have great video cameras, and I've seen some streams done on a smartphone that looks like it was done with a really nice camera. So that's a software solution. I think it's like $15 a month that some of our local artists are using, and we're kind of telling them about it. Kind of the next level up, Sling Video Studio is a great encoder multicam unit that's about $999. We have a promoter named Nassi in Miami, Florida, who just got that in his rig, and he's actually taking the Sling Video Studio and going to different venues, going to rooftops, and it kind of has this portable live stream system. And yeah, having that camera switching of 2, 3, 4 cameras really allows you to have a better engagement. It's not just one camera. And you'd be surprised if you have a 4-camera setup, 4 smartphones with either of those solutions. If you just have one of your friends roaming around with one of the cameras, you have infinite shots because you have the 3 static shots you're switching between, and now you have someone walking around getting a different shot every time. So those are some of the things we've been really telling artists is, live stream is here to stay. Even when shows finally come back, fans are going to be used to paying for live stream tickets, watching them from home. And the better we get as artists of kind of adding this to our arsenal of, I can do an engaging live stream, I can market it well. And now taking it kind of the next level of when I do live streams, I have 2 or 3 or 4 camera angles and a really cool backdrop, and it is a custom show. I think the artists that really embrace that and practice it and get good at it are going to start finding that live stream for them in the next year is going to maybe account for half of their revenue, and half of the revenue they make is off of in the venue, in-person shows. So in the artists that don't do this and kind of shrug it off as just something that's not going to last, I think they're going to find themselves in this new music era of they're now behind the ball and they're not. I mean, it's the same kind of when COVID happened and people hadn't done a lot of Zoom meetings, right? With the FaceTime, fast forward now, if you can't be on camera on a Zoom meeting, you're in trouble. Like that's where the world's going. So I think it's exciting because it can be scary as an artist to get up in front of fans on the video screen and you can't see them like you can a live show. But I think those skills are worth building and worth getting really good at, because it's just one more way for you to make money whenever, wherever you want, whether it be on your back patio or singing in your bathtub,
And I like what you're saying there, because we really have created a new platform, and your company, with you having produced tens of thousands of events in the U.S. and Canada, we all want the live show to come back. But do you think we're also creating at the same time this new vehicle, this new platform where the concert goer is going to be comfortable sitting in their living room in their pajamas watching something? Are we losing them as a live paying concert attendee, or do you think they'll come back?
I've thought a lot about that, because that is the fear, right? The fear is everyone just wants to stay home and watch a live stream on their couch, and they no longer go into the venues. I mean, I think realistically, people crave that social interaction. They want to be, sweating next to fellow fans of the band or the rapper, singing all the lyrics and shouting. So I don't think we're in danger of losing that. One thing that we've done to kind of safeguard against that is we do have geo-fencing in our live stream platform, so that, let's say, if an artist was playing at the Roseland Theater here in Portland and in the venue show, they could black out the live stream to not be available for fans within 200 miles. And maybe they could lift that geo-fencing if the show sells out. But that's exactly right, is you don't want to cannibalize your following in Portland for your Portland in the venue show. But what I think is really interesting is there's so many bands I love where they come and tour, and 3 months later, they're not going to be back for 9 more months, and I want to see them play live. And so I think in the interim, it's one of those things where I'm going to still keep going and paying $20 or $30 to be in the venue and experience something that can't be replaced with live stream. But now, 3 or 4 months later, that same artist is going to get $20 to $50 from me when they do a live stream performance. The other thing I like too is I feel like a lot of times, it's probably happened to you, Bob, you go see an artist you really love and they only have an hour and a half to play, and they just had a new album come out, and they have 7 albums previous to that. And so they don't play like half the songs that are your favorite. And you leave and you're like, I'm not going to see them for another year, because they live in the UK and they're not going to get back to Portland for a year. And so the live streams kind of bring that to light as well, where that artist can now do 6 streams throughout the year, playing each album front to back, or playing the songs that aren't their hits that they have to play when they play live. And so I think when artists think creatively in ways of, I play my hits when I play in Portland, Oregon in the venue, but I have all these cult favorites, and my second album is a big hit amongst my fans. So I'm going to do a live stream that tailors specifically to that. And I think that's where that creativity comes through of, I don't want to see you play the same set in a venue in Portland and then next month play the same set at your house, especially with a big music library. I think what this does, live stream really opens it up to be, instead of I give the artist $30 a year when they tour, I, as a fan, maybe now give them $200 throughout the year for all these different content deliveries they're giving me. And so those are kind of some of the things we've thought about. Because you're right, you don't want live stream to get so big that next time they come to town, you miss the show. And I think that's really thinking about what content is on your live stream, and then using that some type of geofencing like our platform has, to where you can black out. People can't stay home in Portland and watch you that night. They're going to have to go down to the venue.
That's something else you brought up too, and that's keeping everything fresh on those, whether it's a live concert or it's a live stream. I know I've toured enough over the years with acts that it's the same set list every night. It's just a different market. We would literally tape at the foot of the stage what city we were in, so the lead singer, when he's going, "Hello, Toledo," he knows he's in Toledo that night, because trust me, it's happened where they've said the wrong city on the wrong date. So they need to keep it fresh. And I think also what you're describing with the live streaming is they're providing something in a different environment that is also something you wouldn't see in a live concert. So it really does become the best of both worlds.
Exactly. And what's interesting, there's a couple bands I really love who did a couple live streams in the past couple months, and they kind of just played their normal set. Like they're in a studio and they played as if you were watching them live. And so no talking in between songs. They weren't really addressing the crowd or storytelling. They weren't calling out people, tipping them. It really just felt like you kind of just put a camera at a venue while they were playing a show, and now you're watching the footage. And so that is important. Is sometimes maybe those live streams are cool, but what I'm finding is artists are doing in-depth Q&As. They're spending 5 minutes talking to fans on live chat and responding to the live chat, actually calling people out by name. And, I've even talked to some artists who want to do kind of focused shows based on a certain subset of their fans. So they want to do a show for the drummers, people that drum, and they're going to turn the drums up in the mix and, make it focus on them, or maybe do, a show that's all like focused for fans of the first album. And those are the things you can't do in a live show, right? When you play in a venue, you just have to, exactly what you said, Bob, you have to play your normal set. You're playing whole tour. You don't want to talk in between. You don't want to talk for 5 minutes at a live show. It kills the vibe. Kind of thinking through what is best in a live show in a venue, what's best in a live stream. And that gives you thousands of options on what kind of content you can give your fans.
Man, this is some great information, wealth of information. How can people find you?
So if you're an independent artist, MyAfton.com is where you can sign up for free. No obligation. You can check out the account, do a live stream if you want, turn booking on and off, read our blog. AftonTickets.com/livestream is for the enterprise level live streaming for agents, promoters, major artists. That's the place to go for that. We love to support all artists no matter what level. And the big thing for us is we like to keep the artist in mind and not charge any upfront fees, not charge membership fees. We have a lot of artists that'll come to MyAfton and create an account, poke around for 2 months, and finally be like, all right, I'm ready to book a show now. So what we like to do is kind of bring people in, even if they're not ready to book, even if they're just taking a hiatus, so that we're there and the tools are there for them whenever they're ready to resume their career.
Ryan, thank you so much. This has been great.
Yeah, I loved it. This was so fun, Bob. Thanks for having me on.
The Business Side of Music is the creation of Tom Sabella and Tracy Snow and is produced by Bob Bender. The Business Side of Music is recorded at Music Dog Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Production sound design by Keith Stark. Voiceover and promo by Lisa Busan.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.